Hi, I'm Victoria and I'm a child psychiatrist, and I'm here to answer the questions that you have as a parent about your child's mental well-being. The question I will be answering today is, how do I help my child have a balanced life? And if you'd like me to have a look at your question, please do comment below. I look at them and then I choose some to do videos on. Otherwise, stay tuned and listen to what I have to say about this particular question. Having a balanced life is a really good way of building resilience and helping children face challenges outside of your home, so that they have a way of kind of regulating themselves. So having that balance is really, really important. And one of the things I've got to ask you first is, do you think you figured out the balance in your life? Because that's really quite important. What your children see is going to affect how they act. So if they just see you working all the time or spending all your free time, having to do things in the house, not really managing any physical activity, or perhaps not even managing really anything fun, then they're just going to think that that's the norm, and they're not going to be looking for ways of balancing their own life. So you do need to have a think about what you are modelling to your children and whether you have a variety of activities in your life. And when you're thinking about a variety for them, and for yourself as well, think about kind of engaging different bits of the brain. So often their brains are engaged kind of cognitively, so academic learning in school. They might also get some physical activity in school. But there are probably some things they won't get quite so much of, such as imaginative play. They might get some sort of small motor activity, like arts and crafts and that kind of thing. Also, sort of thinking about downtime. Just having a time when your brain can just not really engage that well, like when you're watching telly. Those things are actually quite important. Your brain can't just keep being switched on all the time. It gets tired, so having some downtime built in is quite important. And also, thinking about sort of social time versus alone time. And again, at school, kids will get quite a lot of people time, but having some own time is important, probably at home. So kind of have a think about the kind of balance your child gets, and different schools will be different. So some might not have so much physical activity, and you might have to think about doing that sort of outside of school. But there are all the different areas of the brain that are important to kind of engage at different times so that it feels more balanced. And of course, all that has to come with enough sleep, and sort of appropriate eating to make sure that the basic needs of your child are met, really. So kind of when you think about it, think about how you can balance things actually through the day. I mean, some things you're going to be balancing in the week, so they might be, going to do physical activity at different times of the week if they're in after school clubs. But sometimes actually just pacing activity through the day can also be a really good way of balancing things and just helping them stay in the okay zone, really, like, feeling okay in themselves, because actually if they've had loads of social time at school and they come home and they're overwhelmed with social time again, they're probably going to get quite tired. So kind of just being aware of what they've already had, and mildly moving them towards something slightly different, just to engage a different bit of their brain, and help them kind of settle down, really. Especially important kind of in holidays and in weekends, when I guess you have a lot more control over exactly what your children do, just to help them understand when they need to switch activities. If they do too much of one thing, they will get quite tired and will probably get quite grumpy and irritable. So just helping them pace throughout the day can be a really good way of balancing their time. So probably the first thing to start with is start with yourself, and think about how balanced your activities are kind of over a week, for example, but also kind of on a daily basis, and think about how you can add the things that are perhaps missing. So if you yourself don't get a huge amount of time to do physical activity, just think about where that can go in, or if you don't actually have time to be playful and creative, well, where can you do that? I mean, sometimes you do that with your children, but you might wish to do that in a more adult way as well. And also think about having downtime, because downtime is important for everyone. So start with yourself, and kind of learn a way of balancing, and then help your child do the same. They will face the same challenges about finding the right time to balance things. So when you learn how to do that, you can teach them how to do that as well. I hope you like this video. Please do click through to my website, and like and comment, and I'll definitely have a look at your questions. And I will see you again next week when I will be answering more questions.